Welcome back. Residents all over the country are grappling with the oppressive heat. KwaZulu-Natal, Gauteng and the Northern Cape are all experiencing soaring temperatures, some as high as 39 degrees in places. The Department of Water and Sanitation says the country's dam levels have dropped more than 1% due to the heat. The Northern Cape in particular saw a drastic decrease of its water levels from last week's 99% to 95.2% this week. Let's get an update on the situation from the department spokesperson, Wisane Mavasa. Thank you so much for your time this evening. So can you give us a little bit more detail on some of the particular dams that have seen the largest drops, specifically in relation to the current heat wave and what you're seeing across the board?
Thank you for this opportunity and greetings to the viewers at home. And indeed, yes, there's been a slight drop of our water levels at average of 93.3% nationally. We've seen, as you've indicated, a quiet drop from the Northern Cape of up to around almost 5%. And with the Northwest as well following with almost about 2%, followed by the Western Cape, which we know that it normally experiences its rains during winter season. So it's understandable that it's sitting there at around 56.8%. And we have the Free State as well remaining stable there over 100%, and as well as the Mpumalanga and Eastern Cape. Followed by Gauteng. They are all at stable level, except the Eastern Cape at 77.7%, though all of them, they are depreciating or going down a bit due to, as you've indicated, to the decreasing, I would call it, rains in the past weeks, as well as as we exit the rainy season.
Is there a specific dam that you've seen a bigger drop than at others? Is there somewhere where the situation is more worrying?
Not necessarily, because most of the dams remain to a certain extent stable at above their full capacity. So there isn't much call for alarm in terms of our average storages in all provinces, except they continue to drop. Therefore, it's not necessarily a matter of the heat or evaporation, but rather than the usage as well contributes in terms of the dropping as the dam levels continues. But rather, we're also getting other water through augmenting our water supplies from other areas. For example, we've increased another 70% megaliters a day through the Noordgedag water treatment plant coming from other sources of water in the Orange River. So it's not necessarily due to the heat, but rather due to the fact that they have not experienced much rain in that catchment area. Therefore, their water levels continues to drop.
Okay, so I'm glad you brought up the issue of usage, because when we experience heat waves across large parts of the country like we are at the moment, the demand for water and the usage, the consumption of water is increased. So we have more demand but less supply. What is the department doing to mitigate the risk long term?
We continue to augment our infrastructure or build more infrastructure to ensure that our water storages or our infrastructure has capacity to store water resources on the surface. As you are aware that we use dams as well as these water systems to store more water to ensure that we have a long-term security in terms of water. You are aware of the Lesotho Highland Water System, Lesotho Highland Water Scheme. That is we are on phase 2 now to augment the integrated Vaal River system so that we have enough water to secure us for a longer period of time. So, and in other provinces as well, in KZN, we are also increasing some dams. We are increasing dam walls so that it store more water. And in also other provinces as well, we are building more infrastructure tunnels to redirect some of the waters to areas where they don't necessarily receive enough water to provide or to supply in communities through that value chain. So there is kind of interventions that are taking place across the country to ensure that we have enough storage. Also, on the part of underground water, you know that we also depend on underground water as a country to ensure that we supplement what we receive on the surface, as we spoke about evaporation, which also contributes to us losing some water due to heat. So underground water is another source of our water to ensure that those communities that don't have water through surface water, we harvest underground water to ensure that we augment or ensure that they have got a continuous supply in those communities.
Well, thank you very much. We're going to leave it there. Department of Water and Sanitation spokesperson Wisane Mavasa giving us an update on the impact of the soaring temperatures on the country's dams.